Earl and Mavis Beeman, and son Don, had lived together for 16 years. But for the last two, they had been like ships in the night. Don, a gangly youth with his father's large head and flat nose, and his mother's shoulder-length hair, kept to himself and seldom spoke unless spoken to. "Ever since he joined that band," his dad said. Actually, Don did love his folks. It was just that right now he was totally into his music. But they thought something was wrong. One Friday night when Don and his band, Trash, were playing for a dance at the Armory, Earl and Mavis went in and shook down his room. Under the bed, they found a box of tapes. They played the tapes and found out they were songs written and sung by Don. They were about subjects he'd never discussed at home, like anger and violence. One song was about going down the street and tripping up nuns. And although the Beemans were not Catholic, they were shocked. My fellow teenagers, when are parents going to learn that we're not going to take it anymore? That we want to rock all day and party all night? That rebels like us were born to run free and born to be wild? I offer my story as a warning to parents everywhere. That music is our rebel yell you hear. Sweat is our teen spirit you smell. And rock and roll is here to stay. Don, The True Story of a Young Person, by Garrison Keillor. Criticism was exactly where Earl gave Don, especially after the President's Day County 4-H poultry show dance, at which Trash played. The band was rowdy and yelled a lot of tough, punk types of stuff at the audience. But that was their thing after all, and nobody really minded until Trash's drummer, Bobby Thompson, spat at Sharon Farley while she was being crowned poultry show queen between numbers. Of course, this was a direct challenge to the others in the band. With the crowd yelling and egging them on, the others in the band made belching noises and lifted up their shirts. Don and the other guitarist, Art Johnson, turned up their amps full blast, and soon feed pellets were flying all over the place. Things were just about completely out of hand when suddenly a guy tossed a chicken on stage and Bobby grabbed it and bit its neck! Instantly, the barn was hushed. "Did you see that?" some people murmured. Trash packed up their equipment quickly, while several exhibitors chased and caught the chicken. Someone took it to a vet. Everyone went home. The next morning at breakfast, Earl picked up the Gazette and found his son on page 1. 4-H dance ends in riot as rock band eats live bird? The headline said. According to the story, police were investigating the incident, which one observer at the scene called an act of bestiality, reminiscent of Nazi Germany. Earl, a veteran of the Second World War, exploded. He kicked open Don's bedroom door, flung himself at his son, and hauled him out of bed by one leg. "Why must you do everything possible to disgrace us?" "Dad, it's only music." "You drag our name in the mud, and you say it's only music!" "What? I suppose the next thing you'll tell me is that it's only chicken." It was a shaken Trash, an incensed Trash, that met in Thompson's garage after supper on Wednesday. "We're gonna show them," Brian vowed, "that we can be everything they say we are. They tell lies about us? Okay, we're gonna make those lies come true." That night, they played with wild abandon. The garage windows rattled as the band members blew off their frustration at having been attacked for something that had been blown way out of proportion. "Baby, you call me an animal for something I didn't do." "Well, if that's how you want it." I'm gonna be wild for you! Suddenly, Bobby leaped into the air, rushed forward, reached through a cardboard box, and grabbed a chicken, and bit it again and again, until the feathers flew. Actually, it was just a pillow. But it seemed real to Trash, who sat back exhausted. They were stunned at what had happened. Earl and Mavis were sitting in their lounge chairs in the basement. I don't know. I feel they're being unfair to Don and his friends, Mavis said to Earl. They're making a mountain out of what was probably just a joke. Mrs. Thompson told me that Bobby didn't even draw blood on the chicken. All it suffered was a little neck sprain. She said that when Bobby was little, he would tease his sister by pretending to eat worms. Maybe this is the same thing?
Time they grew up then, Earl said. They walk around like they've got the world on a string. Never listen to a thing you say. Maybe this will give them a taste of their own medicine.
Earl and Mavis talked for a long time that night. They remembered the many good times they'd had with Don. Mavis recalled that Don's first word had been Papa. And Earl recalled that Don's second word had been chicken.
He's a good boy. If only we give him a chance, said Earl,
practically weeping. I think this is going to bring us closer together. Don couldn't sleep Wednesday night. He felt torn between his deep love of music and his fears that Trash was going off the deep end. Don knew he must decide whether to stay in Trash and risk banishment from the home and the permanent hatred of a community and perhaps a nation, united in outrage at the senseless injury or even death of a barnyard fowl. Or not. And he had to decide before the next public appearance. Don came home from school on Friday, and as usual, put on a record and fixed himself a sandwich. The phone rang.
Don, said a deep voice at the other end. Green Phillips here, at Falling Rocks.
Falling Rocks! At the mention of the name of the country's leading rock tabloid, Don's mind went completely numb. Falling Rocks!
Don, we have a photographer who is flying out there right now on a charter jet to cover your concert tomorrow. Now I'll be doing the story from here, and I need something from you over the phone. Now I'm going to try and sell this thing as a cover story, but I'm up against a bunch of editors who don't know what's going on, and I need something from you right now. Not tonight, not tomorrow night, not maybe, but yes or no. Is your guy going to eat the chicken, or isn't he?
The 300 friends and relatives of Trash who jammed the hall that night, including a number of ministers, who believed that the basic message of rock and roll was caring and sharing, as well as Don's grandma, who was hard of hearing, piled into the hall as if they were going to a party. It took Mr. Thompson, who was master of ceremonies, several minutes to get everyone to take their seats and give him their attention. To brighten the occasion with a little humor, he shouted, "And now, back safe and sound from its last engagement," and waved toward the wings, and out came the treasurer of the 4-H Club, bearing a chicken with a bandaged neck. He placed the chicken in its cage at the front of the stage, and the crowd gave the chicken a standing ovation. Trash leaped out on stage, ready to play for keeps. We come to rock. Look out, danger. Dirty, desperate, born to die. All originals, led the show and were appreciated by almost everyone. Many of the people in the crowd, including all the Trash parents, got up to dance. Some of the parents had learned this particular dance in adult education classes.